Thank you for watching Sports News Africa, the home of Africa's sporting conversation. Join me as we begin with a look at what is coming up. CAF boss says new host will be revealed in 3 or 4 days. Morocco stand firm on their decision not to go ahead with the Games next January. And the National Rowing and Kayaking Championships take place in Togo. Welcome to Sports News Africa with me, Temesgen Devasai. We begin with the 2015 African Cup of Nations tournament saga that has been rumbling on for months. On Monday, the Confederation of African Football said it was suspending Morocco for its unwillingness to host the tournament next January. In a statement from its Cairo headquarters, CAF said a number of potential host countries were lined up to take over the tournament, and the organization's head, Issa Hayato, has said there will be a decision on the host nation in the next 2 or 3 days. Morocco, meanwhile, has defended its decision to call for the Games to be postponed to a later date over health fears surrounding the Ebola epidemic. Morocco fears that an influx of foreign fans could help spread the epidemic further, a claim that CAF argues is exaggerated. And we are now joined by Moroccan journalist Hassan Alawi. Mr. Alawi, how has the Moroccan Football Federation received the news of their disqualification from the tournament?
Well, the Moroccan FA is still very quiet, but it's the Moroccan sports minister who normally speaks about it. Yesterday, he was asked at the parliament what was his reaction after the latest decision by CAF, and he reiterated that Morocco didn't ask CAF to cancel this competition. Morocco is only asking for it to be postponed. And here is there is a big difference between asking for this competition to be cancelled altogether or just to be postponed. And this is the problem of understanding or misunderstanding between Morocco and the African football authorities. Morocco is insisting that it still wants to organize this competition, and but not at the stated dates. I mean, between January the 17th and February the 8th, Morocco asked for it to be postponed until the summer or even to 2016. But CAF said no, and as you know, they are looking for alternatives now.
Does their stance have the backing of the Moroccan people?
As far as we know, as journalists, we've been talking to a lot of people, and we made a lot of vox pops in the streets, and we spoke to a lot of people. And I can tell you that more than 90% of the people we talk to, even if they are football fans, and you know, football is very popular in Morocco, they always reply to us that the Moroccan people's safety is more important and paramount than a football game or a tournament. They said, we don't know what to expect with Ebola. It's a very deadly virus. Morocco has taken so many measures to prevent it coming to the country, but you never know what can happen. And this was reiterated by every official here, including the health minister, who was saying and repeating from day one, we are taking all the precautions, but the risk zero doesn't exist. So it's better if we are safe than sorry.
Tell me, Mr. Alawi, what are the wider implications of the ban for the Moroccan football?
Well, Morocco expects very heavy punishment and sanctions, and so far we have to wait for the decision to come from Cairo, because it can be really, really bad for Moroccan football. It can be banned for up to 4 years at the national level and at the club levels, and anything connected with Africa will be just frozen. Even Moroccan referees will not be allowed to go, for example, and take part in African matches. Morocco may not even be allowed to take part in the qualifiers for the next World Cup in 2018 in Russia. And I'm not talking here about the financial repercussions. And now Morocco is bracing itself for a legal battle with the CAF, and I understand the Moroccan FA and the Moroccan authorities have already contacted some law firms in France and even here in Morocco to see what they can do, because they are expecting some very heavy fines and very heavy sanctions. But what they are always saying is, we didn't take this measure lightly. It was a really serious decision. We took it seriously at the advice of this medical committee at the Moroccan health ministry, and it's a force majeure, as the lawyers would say. So Morocco was keen to organize this competition. It paid something like $70 million to upgrade its stadium, and the losses for tourism will be a lot, because a lot of bookings will be cancelled and a lot of earnings will be lost to Morocco. But Morocco, I'm sure, didn't take this decision lightly. It knows that it will be losing a lot financially, economically, and probably even politically, because Morocco, as you may know, recently turned itself to Africa more than to Europe or to the West. And it's trying to strengthen its relationship with Africa, and probably some African countries would not like this decision. But as I said, from day one, Morocco is thinking seriously about the health of its population, and this population is agreeing more or less 100% with this decision.
Okay, Mr. Hassan Alawi, thank you very much. Gabon is another team that is taking the qualifiers by storm. The Panthers currently lead Group C with 8 points. And after beating Burkina Faso in their last outing, there is belief in the camp that this team might have what it takes to go all the way.
As the Gabonese national football team, the Panthers, continue their aggressive campaign in the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier to book a spot in the tournament in January, sports analysts in the country are already predicting the team will lift the trophy. The Panthers are top of Group C with 8 points against Angola, Burkina Faso and Lesotho. Their 2-0 shock win against Burkina Faso last month left no doubt about the team's potential, raising hopes among fans and sports experts. Pablo Nguema is a sports analyst in Libreville and believes the Panthers have all it takes to win next year's tournament.
Well, nothing is impossible. Zambia won the cup, and the country which organized the 2012 cup, that is Gabon, could have won it. You could then see a smooth game performed by a team. If Zambia has been an AFCON winner, Gabon can also be.
After being eliminated in the quarter-finals of the 2012 Africa Cup of Nations, which they co-hosted with Equatorial Guinea, Gabon is seeking to relive the glory, but this time with absolute victory.
Il y a eu la CAN 2010, il y avait plutôt la CAN 2012, c'est-à-dire que le fait que le pays ait organisé cette coupe.
Well, the fact that the country organized the 2012 Cup brought awareness to people. The Minister of Sports took care of promoting the Gabonese players. As far as bonuses are concerned, Gabon is one of the 3 countries where footballers are best paid, hence some kind of motivation. And there is a professional environment which has been created by Alain Guirès.
Donc il y a une certaine motivation, il y a un environnement professionnel qui a été créé depuis Alain Guirès.
Nguema added that international players in the squad are giving the team the much-needed expertise. He hopes that the success in next year's tournament will influence the team to gun for the 2018 World Cup.
I hope Gabon will qualify. If they mean to have a 4-year project and to let the coach do his job, I think we will have a rather competitive side, a mature team with experience enough to even be able to qualify for the World Cup.
Unlike other African teams that have suffered squabbles over poor pay and lack of proper management structures, Gabon appears to stem with fewer issues. The withdrawal of Morocco from hosting the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations due to the fear of the Ebola virus could give Gabon and possibly 2 other countries the chance to host the event. If chosen, they automatically qualify for the tournament and will enjoy unlimited home advantage.
Staying with football, the South African FA has announced that Sweden-based midfielder May Mashlungu will never be selected for the national squad again in the future. This comes after the player failed to report for training ahead of South Africa's AFCON qualifiers against Sudan and Nigeria. Bafana coach Shakes Mashaba has said he had received an email from Mashlungu indicating that he was feeling burned out and needed to rest. The Football Association has reacted angrily to Mashlungu's decision, effectively slapping a lifetime ban on the player from representing South Africa. Tanzania's Taifa Stars are gearing up for an international friendly against Swaziland. Both countries have already been eliminated from the qualifiers for the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations, but the encounter should give both managers and players alike an opportunity to improve their performances and build for the future.
As teams across the continent gear up for this weekend's set of 2015 AFCON qualifiers, some of the lesser-known teams that crashed out of the competition are busy engaging each other in friendlies to help them build up for future competitions. In Tanzania, the Taifa Stars have been making preparations ahead of their scheduled match against Swaziland on Sunday at the Somhololo National Stadium in Bambane. Coach Matt Nuge said his team will use the match as a build-up for future tournaments and also to ratchet up FIFA ranking.
We play now Swaziland. You know that CAF is cancelled, it's not going on, so we don't have any other international meetings, games before March 2015. So this is our last game. We have to make a good result, away result, to stay high up in FIFA ranking. The FIFA ranking is important for the next coming up draws for World Cup, AFCON and CHAN.
Tanzania suffered a heartbreak in August when Mozambique denied them a chance to advance to the AFCON group stages with a 2-1 thrashing in a match played in Maputo. Nuage blamed his team loss and early elimination on referee bias.
What went wrong on the pitch is that I think we did not have any help of referees. Stronger, the referees were on the other side.
Last month, Taifa Stars thrashed hard-fighting Benin Squirrels 4-1 in an international friendly played on home turf in Dar es Salaam.
For me, the next challenge is to present in December a new team under 23, which will be presented in your national stadium in a game on the 9th of December.
Asked where he thinks the misfortunes of neighboring Kenya's Harambee Stars lie, Nuage had this to say.
I never criticize clubs, managers or colleague coaches. So I don't criticize also Kenya. I cannot judge them. It's a neighbor country, I respect them, but I don't know what is going on. And I want to concentrate on my own job in Tanzania.
Tanzania is ranked 110th, while Swaziland 164th in the latest FIFA ranking.
You're watching Sports News Africa. Here is what's coming up after the break. The National Rowing and Kayaking Championships take place in Togo. And franchise cricketers go on strike in Zimbabwe over wages and contractual disputes. We'll be back with those stories and more. Welcome back to Sports News Africa. The Rowing and Kayaking National Championships came to an end in Togo earlier this week. The tournament was the first of its kind held in the country and aims to encourage young Togolese to take up the sport and follow in the footsteps of Benjamin Bukpeti. Bukpeti won Togo's first ever Olympic medal when he claimed bronze in the men's single kayak slalom at the 2008 Beijing Games.
The Togo 2014 National Rowing and Kayak Competition came to a close in Togo's capital Lomé, where 6 national clubs took part in the competition. Komlanvi Kofi and Komlanvi Akoko of Klunduk Club won the national championship title in the men's and women's rowing category respectively. Kayaking and rowing are slowly becoming more recognized sports events in Togo, with many people showing interest and joining the various local clubs. Amewonovi Akutete, the president of the Togo Kayak Federation, said his organization is working hard to popularize the sport among youths.
I'm feeling very happy. I had this wish for such a long time. We want our federation to be exposed. We want to open the sport to the entire Togolese youth. That's the reason why we organized this competition. I'm delighted to see that all this crowd came to see by themselves what rowing, kayak and slalom kayak mean.
In the kayaking slalom category, Pierre Mathey and Aulu Louise from the Els Club were the winners of this year's men's and women's title respectively. Odile Gabimam, a kayak athlete who took part in the competition, gave a few tips on how to perfect kayaking skills.
To be at your best in slalom, you must be as light as possible and you must not be scared. If you're not afraid, you can succeed.
Ramsey Akibode, who was also a competitor, said the sport is very intense and involving.
I feel good because, you know, sport is good for your health and it drives you to think, especially in slalom. It's a sport that makes you spend a lot of energy and draws a lot from your brains when you are in real-time kayaking.
In the 2008 Beijing Games, Togolese Benjamin Bok-Petit won the country's first ever Olympic medal when he won the bronze in the men's single kayak slalom.
Moving on to cricket, and there's uncertainty surrounding the start of the domestic cricket season in Zimbabwe following a player's strike over a contractual dispute. Players did not take to the field in scheduled matches between Mashonaland Eagles and Midwest Rhinos and Matabeleland Tuskers and ZC. Also confirmed suspension of their fixture pending a meeting with the Players Association. It's understood that Zimbabwe's franchise players are unhappy over the earn-as-you-go deals and would prefer each team to have a full squad of contracted players. Staying with cricket, the ICC Cricket World Cup trophy achieved a world first in Jurien Bay, Western Australia, when it completed a skydive onto the beach. The Australian leg of the trophy tour kicked off with the first stop on the route in Geraldton, Western Australia, and will complete a 3-month trek around the country. The World Cup will be played in Australia and New Zealand from February the 14th. Zimbabwe face South Africa in their opening game in Hamilton. And that's the end of Sports News Africa for today. Join us again tomorrow when we bring you all the latest from Africa and around the world. Bye for now.